The year 1964, a 25-year-old young man was selling shoes from the trunk of his car. He had no idea that one day, he would build the world's largest sports company. This is the story of Nike founder Phil Knight. Phil Knight was born in 1938 in the small town of Portland, USA. From childhood, he was a fast runner, and his biggest dream in life was to become a great athlete. He worked hard at running throughout school and college, winning numerous races. Along with racing, Phil continued his studies and completed his MBA in 1962. He still wanted to continue running, but one morning during practice, he faced reality. Having spent his entire youth racing, he had become one of the best athletes in his state, but he couldn't reach the national or international level. The sad thing was, he was good, but not great. He was 24 years old, and he didn't stand a chance. Try to get better at athletics. So that morning, Phil accepted with a heavy heart that his athletic career was over. He had failed in his dream of becoming a respected athlete, but he still wanted to do something that would keep him close to sports. Phil was deeply attached to his running shoes, as every runner is. So he decided to go into the shoe business. Then he remembered that during his MBA, he had studied for several weeks and even written a detailed research paper on the running shoe business. In his research, he discovered that Japanese camera companies had disrupted the American camera market with their superior quality and low prices. According to his research paper, Japanese shoes could similarly disrupt the US shoe market, and they could even surpass the biggest companies at the time, Adidas and Puma. Starting a business based on a college project was a big risk, but Phil had no other choice. He decided to import Tiger brand shoes from Japan and sell them in the USA. Tiger shoes were manufactured by a Japanese company called Onitsuka, so Phil gathered all his savings and boarded a flight to Japan. Finally, he arrived and made an appointment at Onitsuka's office. He was very nervous before the meeting. A boy who was naturally shy and introverted was about to partner with a major company. Furthermore, the Onitsuka executive asked Phil for the company's name at the very beginning of the meeting. I don't know how, but Phil thought of the blue ribbon hanging at his house. He said it was the blue ribbon, the same blue ribbon he had received for winning various races. He said he represented a company called Blue Ribbon Sports. At that time, no such company existed, but Onitsuka executives were delighted with the name. The meeting continued, and Phil repeated his college project line by line. In the end, Onitsuka employees were so impressed that they asked his company, Blue Ribbon, to sell Tiger shoes in the United States. It was a deal. Phil gave them his address and asked them to send him some samples of Tiger training shoes. Phil was overjoyed. He sent money to Onitsuka for shoe samples and returned to the United States, waiting for the samples. 4 months passed, but he still hadn't received any. In response to the letter, Onitsuka said the shoes would arrive soon, but nothing really happened. Phil hadn't given up hope, but until the shoes arrived, he needed a job to make ends meet. So he took a job as an accountant at a small company. It had been almost a year since he had met Onitsuka. By then, Phil had almost lost hope when a notice arrived from customs. 12 shoes had arrived from Japan. Upon receiving them, Phil unpacked them, showed them to his college coach, Bill Bowerman, and explained his business plan. Bowerman liked the shoes so much that the next day he offered Phil a 50% partner. Phil was quite surprised by the offer. Bill Bowerman had been obsessed with shoes throughout his coaching career. He had been experimenting with them for years. He had become an expert in shoe design. His entire focus was on making shoes lighter. He would often borrow his students' shoes without asking, and then spend days tearing them apart, making minor changes. His changes would dramatically improve the player's performance. Bill Bowerman was also a brilliant coach and a natural leader. He was like a god to Phil and the other runners. And today, that same godlike man wanted to be Phil's business partner. It was clear. The two shook hands and were now partners in a 50-50 partnership. That same day, Phil wrote to Onitsuka, asking for exclusive distributorship rights to sell Tiger shoes in the western United States, and placing a first order for 300 shoes, valued at $1,000. This time, the shoes arrived on time, and Blue Ribbon secured exclusive distributorship for the western United States. This was just what Phil had been waiting for. He immediately quit his accounting job to focus solely on the business. He stored the shoes in the basement of his parents' house. That space had now become Blue Ribbon's office. It was time to sell the shoes. Phil approached several sports shops to sell Tiger shoes, but they all refused. Phil didn't have the money to open his own shop, so he came up with an idea. He filled his car trunk with shoes and went to any athletic competition. He would talk to coaches, players, and spectators and show off his shoes. Phil had previously worked in sales, but it didn't work. This time, Phil was surprised by the customer response. His shoes were selling very quickly. As a player himself, he understood the challenges faced by athletes. so he easily convinced customers that Tiger shoes were the best fit for them. In just 2 months, he sold his first shipment of 300 shoes. Then, this time, he ordered 900 shoes, but his total revenue was only $2,000 compared to the total cost of the order, which was $3,000. So Phil first applied for a $1,000 loan from the bank. Seeing Blue Ribbon's strong business, the loan was approved, and Phil had a career he truly enjoyed. He had a trusted partner, Bill Bowerman, and a product that was selling itself, meaning Phil was having his best time. But then the story took a twist. A wrestling coach wrote Phil a letter. He said he had just returned from a meeting with Onitsuka Cortez. Onitsuka began producing the Cortez shoes, and as soon as they hit the American market, they became a smash hit. Phil's management and Bowerman's shoe designs helped Tiger shoes become one of the top brands in the United States within the next 5 years. By 1971, sales reached 1.3 million, and the business was doubling every year. Phil then quit his job, and then they joined Blue Ribbon full-time. Everything was going well until suddenly, a major blow came from Japan. Seeing Blue Ribbon's success, Onitsuka became greedy. He wanted to keep all the profits from Tiger shoes for himself. They gave Phil an ultimatum. If he didn't sell 51% of Blue Ribbon to Onitsuka, they would give the US distribution to someone else. Phil was shocked and saddened. This was a complete betrayal. Onitsuka had crossed all limits by saying he would buy Blue Ribbon. So Phil made the biggest decision of his life. He gathered his team and said, "Man, this is the opportunity we've all been waiting for. The time for selling other people's brands is over. It's time to build our own." With this, he broke his partnership with Onitsuka and decided to create his own brand of shoes. The first step was to create a new logo. Phil wanted his brand's logo to reflect the spirit of running, the feeling of speed, and the passion to win. And of course, the logo should fit perfectly on the side of the shoes. He hired a graphic design student to create a logo. After a few days, the student submitted several designs. The staff chose a curved logo that resembled a thick check mark. Phil thanked the graphic designer and paid him a fee of $35. After the logo, the next task was to choose a brand name. Several names, such as Falcon and Dimension 6, were suggested. But the company's first salesman, Jeff Johnson, told everyone that he had seen a powerful name in his dream the night before. And that name was Nike. Nike is the name of the Greek goddess of victory. Therefore, the name was appropriate and valid. Phil then hired a third-party manufacturer to create the shoes. Nike sent him the designs, and the shoes began production. Finally, Nike brand shoes officially launched worldwide on May 30th, 1971. At the time, Nike was unknown. Furthermore, larger brands like Adidas, Puma, and Tiger were Nike's major competitors, potentially stymieing the new brand. So Phil adopted a marketing strategy for Nike. Nike didn't use much in the 1970s. They discovered that runners preferred to wear the same brand of shoes as the world's top athletes. So Nike signed the then best runner, Steve Prefontaine, to promote their shoes for $5,000 a year. and Nike became one of the first brands to use athletics brand endorsements as a marketing strategy. Phil's second strategy was to choose his sales team wisely. Nike always had athletes on its sales team. He was passionate about athletics. This meant that the sales team understood the needs and problems of most of their customers, who were athletes. This significantly improved the quality of product design, sales, and after-sales service. In addition to these two strategies, Phil leveraged his experience, long-standing customer base, and Bowerman's shoe designs to grow Nike. As a result, by 1980, sportswear, and today, Nike has become the world's largest sportswear brand, valued at approximately 12 lakh crore rupees. Phil and Nike's story is truly amazing. The biggest takeaway from this journey is that success requires hard work. As Phil writes in his book, Shoe Dog, let people think your idea is crazy. Just keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop until you reach your goal, no matter what anyone says. If you're passionate about an idea, take calculated risks and make it happen. Nike's slogan says the same thing. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And also let us know in the comments what the next video should be about.